Hi there guys, and welcome to another Trains in 2018 video. Today we're on the London Faversham in a 395. I don't drive this very often, but I've recently reinstalled the sound pack that's available on UKTS, and it just makes it that bit more drivable for me. So this is actually an Armstrong Powerhouse scenario. It is from the Armstrong Powerhouse London Faversham scenario pack, which I forgot I even had until I was going through what I'd purchased my in your downloads bit, and I went right sort of back and went, oh, I forgot I even had that. I don't think I'd ever installed it, or I might have done and just forgotten about it. Not sure. Anyway, I don't find the route that stick in your head sort of thing, you know. So it was a bit meh, the route for me. But what this does show off, and the main reason for this video, is of course the Armstrong Powerhouse track upgrade pack. Now, this new pack has caused some massive controversy, got a Sean Connery there, some massive controversy, mainly because there was a freeware KV track upgrade available before by a guy called Johnny Best. And everybody went, why are AP selling something we can get for free? Yeah, whinge, whinge, moan, moan, whine, whine, whine. The bottom line is they're not. They're not. What they have done is added to what Johnny has done. They have retextured the trackbed, and they've also included third rail, new asset for the third rail that looks lovely, which is why I've done this scenario, so I can show you just the two rail track and third rail when we get onto that, and you'll see what I mean when we do that. I'm already impressed with it for a couple of reasons mainly. So for $7.99 you are getting the KV track included, so you will no longer need to own the KV route like you did with the freeware stuff. The way they've retextured it, whilst not perfect, and I will say it's not perfect, it's perfect for some routes and not for others. So it's a bit too dark for certain routes and it's a bit too light for others. This route would need a bit of light. It's quite light up this end, and then at the Dover end, like the Faversham end, it needs to be a bit darker. So you don't really get that transition anymore. There's only two textures in there, so you're not getting multiple track types en route anymore. If you put this in, you're just going to get the track type that's there. That sort of irritates me. And I do hope that's something that AP think about and go, okay, maybe we should have put a little bit of that in. When we've got some time, we'll add that in. And that's, fingers crossed, what I hope they will do. Those of you that had Johnny's freeware packs will also remember that the ground textures bled through the track in places. Now, so far, with the times I've driven this, I've seen very few track bleeds. A few on the London to Manchester section when I was doing the missing link route the other day, but this will be a test really to see this route. I was kind of expecting those to be sorted. If you're paying for it, I did expect them to go through the route and just sort of, I don't know how much grief it is, but just make sure that they work. Do you know what I mean? I don't expect every little siding and every little everything to be exactly perfect. Do I? I can't, maybe. I expected better, if I'm honest with you, about the ground texture bleed through. I have been told, and I haven't heard this from the horse's mouth, but I have been told this is something they're asking people to report and they are working on, so fair play. But would have I rather they held on to it for another couple of weeks of testing and then did it? Yeah, I probably would have done. Now, with AP being AP and MKS being MKS, they both dipped into my stream the other day, and both the guys that sort of own each company respectively said, wouldn't it be nice to see some slammers? And now, to me, that's a big hint. And considering they've released a super duper third rail, my hunch is we're going to see something slammery. This is pure guesswork, by the way. This isn't something I know about. As much as I get on with Richard and have seen Richard and been recording sessions, he still tells me Jack. I don't get anything special for it. The special treats I get are going to see the recording sessions being done. I don't get any tidbits. I don't get insider information as such, and I don't really get I didn't get told nothing. So much so that when Nick was there last time we were at the New Valley Railway, and Nick was just about to say something, Richard, no, we're not allowed to talk about that. He turned to me and went, sorry, it's not you, we just can't talk about it. I was like, it's fine. Realistically inside I'm going, yeah, beep, beep, beep. Because I know they're obviously working on something really cool. I would like to know. But there's no way I'd be able to keep it from you guys. So it is for my own good, really. It's for my own good. So anyway, keep an eye out on the track. This scenario is set in dusk. Probably not the best scenario now I've thought about it to show it off, but it will do. It's also snow because I wanted to show the snow texture as well. I wanted to see how that looked. So it covered everything apart from the darkness for me. Those of you that watched my nighttime scenario video said, some of you went, no, don't do that again, it's rubbish, and some of you went, that's brilliant. So I've gone for an in-between, and this is an evening, but it's in winter, so it's darker, but not nighttime. Right, let's get in and get this set up and get started. Let's get our doors open, let's get into the cab, let's put this on to DC. Control P is what we need to do, isn't it? And then it's P, I think. Let's press it again. Pan up, shoes down. And pan up, shoes down again. So we want it on that. We should get the aircon kicking. We do. Instrument lights. Oh, that's why it did that the last time I did this scenario. Because I pressed I for the lights. So I put night lights on just because we're that sort of way. Instrument lights, where are they going to be? There's a desk light. It's called desk light. I'm sure there is one. Reading light? No. Desk illumination right next to me. Why can't I change that? I'm sure I could get these to light up the last time. You're all sitting there going, Alan, it's right in front of you. Yeah, alright. It's a bit odd. I'm sure I could have got that working the last time. But oh well. I was only going to show you it because they're really pants anyway. They hardly work. That looks like we're clear to go. One thing I will say with the soundbag, it didn't do anything to improve the physics. And that's one of my big bugbears with the 395 is the physics. I don't feel the braking's very accurate. Session 6 is quite atmospheric, it's quite a nice atmospheric scenario. This really was the wrong scenario though, because it's still not light enough to show you everything that I'd like to show you. I'm going to do it anyway. Should go on to TVM up here, and then we should be ready to rock and roll. At a decent speed. So you will see me using the max brake setting on this quite a lot, purely because that's where I feel it is necessary. Oh, maybe it didn't have instrument lights and I just made up. Look how terrible that gauge lighting is. Something nice about doing 140 mile an hour. You know, didn't quite get up to that. Now we're going to be shot down. Guess here's 200, then 170, I guess. Yeah. I could see the light at the end. Oh, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to want 100, isn't it? Coming out of there. Oh, no, 130. Then 100, then 60. Oh, the brakes aren't too bad on this actually. I don't know if that sound pack updated them at all. I'm running a single unit as well. Helps advise them forward, doesn't it? Oh, annoying. Yeah, I'm hoping we can still see a bit of third rail when we get to... I can't do this, is the video. I can't do it, can I? You can have this video for nothing. It isn't the first look. Isn't the review. What I'll do is, if it's too dark to see the third rail, at the end of this scenario, I'll load a day one up and we'll have a look at it then. I hope we actually get up to 225, that'd be lovely. And of course 225, that's where Intercity 225s got their name from, with their envisaged top speed of 140 mile an hour. Well, it was, they were capable of doing it. They did do it several times. Just unfortunately, not for any long period of time. I've said this many times. Stoke Bank was signalled for it with a 4 flashing green, so you had a 4th green, a 4 aspect, 5 aspect. There we go. 275. Sounds daft, but I can't wait for the Channel Tunnel to go through, the 20-minute tunnel. I do like 395s. It's also there, like, what will it be, 11, it was like 11 years last week the first one arrived in the UK or something, wasn't it? I still think it was one of the most modern trains in the UK, yeah. The first one landed here 11 years ago. I was saying about the 66. 66 has turned 20 this year, the first batch. It's ridiculous, isn't it? We've had 20 years of the 66. We've had 10 years of the Javelins, 395s. Tell you what, it's probably a bonus that I haven't put the AP light enhancement back in yet. Because it would have been a lot darker out there if I had. Dartford Bridge. Actually, that is quite a nice screen. Sorry guys, I know you'll want to just be getting the scenario going, but I want a pretty screenshot as well. Oh, 200. You'd have been hard pushed to make that. Right, Ebbsfleet. Third rail! Back onto AWS. We're only going down to Strood. So, I should really call it Stroud for Chris. I messed up on a video ages ago and called Stroud. And he's never let me hear the end of it. So I purposefully call it Stroud now instead of Strood. Let's change over power as well. Go. Let's try and have a look at that third rail. So yes, it does look very nice. The sort of the coppery colour on the inside, the bronzy colour. I like that. See if we can get. I don't think we're going to get a gap. Definitely not going to get a gap going that way, are we? Right. So on the end of this, you might have seen this on the PDL video if we've done it. Can you see how the texture has changed? So it's like where that shoe is arcing on it. It's brilliant. Tiny little things, isn't it? So you can see the dip and sort of texturing where it changes up. It's not actually 3D track. A lot of people, I said this in another video as well, people moan about how is it going to hit my frames, things like that. I've not noticed any frame rate hit from it. Some people have reported I think between 3 and 6 frames per second less. So that's not, I say that's not major. If you're running this on a under-spec machine, 3 to 6 can make the difference between playability and not. I personally have not noticed any frame rate change from it. So make of that as you will. Wasn't too much of a disaster. For some reason it used to be you just had to push that into max and then further into emergency, then back out, and that stopped that. The other night on the stream I had to end up unpressing the emergency stop button. I don't know if that was because it was a TVM intervention or what, but I do it now out of habit, just to make sure. I love this bit of this route. It's like a train set. It's like a Tommy train set. It's all winding over and unders and everything. I love it. Do we stop at Gravesend? We do indeedy. maybe something ahead of us. Grey zone by the looks of it. Yep. There we go. Got the road in. Tidy. There is a little bit of skill in driving this, he says as he ends up speeding. And then Struve's, what, 4 odd miles or something away from here? 7 miles, there we go. Not far. It's a single yellow. Check your rule book. I'll keep saying this, but I've really got to start using things like DRA and that. And remembering to go into neutral. That's why I don't set the DRA, because then I forget to take it off. Pardon, mate? $70 miles an hour to Strood. That's what I like. yellows. What's really worrying as a train driver is your last train of the shift and you start getting stuck places you shouldn't get stuck. It's got to be pretty irritating, isn't it? In my work, the phone kind of rings and you're like, is that an emergency admission? That's like your worst nightmare. You're just about to get out the door and you get that phone call. Oh, Jay, staying on 8. The 15 limit coming up. That must be as instructed then. Maybe a red up there, which I don't really like the thought of. It's red to me. Come on, don't make me wait outside here for ages. You are. Do I dare to have it? Being an AP scenario, I very rarely dare to have them. Denied anyway. Hey, yellow. Let's get that going. Some sand down under my wheels before that moved, but still not clearing yet. What's ahead of me? Ah. And that's out of the way, I guess I'll get the yellow. There we go. Alright then, guys and girls, thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Catch you on Twitch on Sunday evenings from 7 PM and Wednesday evenings from 7 PM onwards. It's a bit more adult and mature, so do be aware of that before you join in. Heading over to the Facebook group for a good laugh and some tech support questions. I won't be able to answer tech support questions in the comments that easily, so it's easier if you do it on the Facebook group. Once again, guys, thanks ever so much, and I shall catch you next time.